there's a trick old-time farmers used that most gardeners today have completely forgotten. It costs nothing. It takes about 5 minutes. And it can turn a handful of worms into hundreds without buying a single one from the store. In fact, the worms you already have in your garden right now, the ones you probably step over without noticing, might already be sitting on top of everything they need to multiply like crazy. The problem is, almost nobody sets it up the right way. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do it, step by step, even if you've never touched a compost bin in your life. Hey there, and welcome back to Evergreen Garden Tips, the place where we make gardening simple, affordable, and honestly, a lot more fun than people expect. If this is your first time here, welcome. Grab a seat, maybe a cup of tea, because we're about to get our hands a little dirty today, in the best way possible. And if you've been with us for a while, you already know we love finding those little tricks that save money and make your garden thrive without breaking your back or your budget. Before we dig in, if you find value in what we share here, consider becoming part of our little garden family by subscribing. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it means more tips like this one land right in your feed. Now, let's talk worms, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you think about your soil forever. Section 1. The worm's secret nobody talks about. Now here's something most people get wrong right from the start. They think worms multiply because they're just left alone in the soil, breeding on their own schedule, and there's nothing you can really do to speed that up. That's actually a myth. Worms are a lot like tomatoes on a vine. Left alone, they'll grow. But give them the exact right conditions, and they'll explode in number faster than you'd ever expect. See, a single worm can lay a small cocoon every week or two, and each of those cocoons can hatch out 2 to 20 baby worms. Now do the math. If you've got even 20 worms living happily in your garden bed or your compost bin, under the right conditions, you could be looking at hundreds of worms in a matter of months. The catch is, most gardeners are unknowingly doing 3 or 4 things that slow that process down to a crawl, sometimes without even realizing it. Section 2. The moisture trick. Let's start with the first thing that trips up almost every beginner, and it's moisture. Worms breathe through their skin, which means if their environment gets too dry, they literally cannot survive, let alone reproduce. But here's the part nobody tells you. Too much water is just as bad because it drowns them and pushes them to flee to drier ground, sometimes right out of your bin or bed entirely. The old trick our grandparents used was the squeeze test. You take a handful of soil or compost, squeeze it tight in your fist, and you're looking for it to feel like a damp sponge. Not dripping. Not crumbly and dry. If a few drops come out when you squeeze, that's perfect. If nothing comes out, it's too dry and your worms are stressed. If it's soaking and muddy, you've gone too far the other way. Keeping that damp sponge balance consistently is one of the single biggest reasons worm populations either boom or completely stall out. Section 3. What you feed them matters more than how much. Here's where most people really go wrong, and it surprised me too when I first learned it. People assume more food equals more worms. Feed them a ton of scraps, and they'll multiply like crazy, right? Actually, overfeeding is one of the fastest ways to kill off a worm population. Too much food rots before they can eat it, it heats up the bin, and that heat can literally cook your worms alive. The trick isn't quantity, it's variety and pacing. Worms love things like coffee grounds, crushed eggshells, vegetable peels, and shredded cardboard or paper. But they hate anything oily, anything heavily seasoned, citrus in large amounts, and meat or dairy. A good rule that old-timers swear by is to feed a little, then wait until most of it disappears before adding more. Think of it like feeding a shy guest at dinner. You don't pile their plate high. You offer a little, see how they do, then offer more. Section 4. The darkness factor? Now here's the part almost nobody talks about, and it's honestly the most overlooked piece of the whole puzzle. Worms are extremely sensitive to light. Not just sunlight, but any light at all. Even a little bit of consistent light exposure stresses them out, and stressed worms do not reproduce well. It's the same reason a stressed hen stops laying eggs. If your compost bin or worm bed is sitting somewhere that gets even indirect daylight streaming in, or if you've got a lid that lets light through, that alone could be cutting your worm reproduction rate significantly. The fix is shockingly simple. A dark top, an old blanket, even a layer of dry leaves or straw thrown over the top can make a bigger difference than people realize. Darkness signals safety to worms, and safety is what triggers healthy breeding behavior. Now, quick pause here, because I want to ask you something. If you've learned even one new thing so far, do me a favor and drop a comment below telling me which tip surprised you the most. I read every single one, and it genuinely helps me know what to cover next. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that like button too. It takes 2 seconds, but it tells YouTube this video is worth showing to more gardeners just like you. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because we've still got some of the best tricks left to cover. Alright, let's keep going, because this next one is the one most people have never even heard of. Section 5, the split and move method. This is the trick that separates casual gardeners from the ones who actually double or triple their worm population fast, and it's called splitting. Most people let their worms stay crammed together in one bin or one section of the garden bed indefinitely. But worms, like people, don't do well when they're overcrowded. Too many worms competing for the same space and food actually slows down reproduction, almost like their bodies sense there isn't enough room to expand the family. The solution old growers used was simple. Once your bin or bed starts looking full, you literally scoop half the material, worms and all, into a brand new spot with fresh bedding. This does 2 things at once. It gives your original worms breathing room to keep multiplying, and it instantly starts a second colony that will also begin multiplying on its own. Within a few cycles of doing this, most gardeners find they've gone from 1 small worm bin to 3 or 4 thriving ones, all without spending a cent on new worms. Section 6, temperature, the silent worm killer. Here's something that catches almost everyone off guard. Worms are incredibly sensitive to temperature swings. Too hot, and they either die or flee to cooler ground. Too cold, and they go dormant, which basically pauses reproduction entirely until conditions improve. The ideal range worms thrive in is roughly between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're in a hot climate, keeping your bin in a shaded spot, or even partially burying it in the ground where the earth naturally cools things down, makes a massive difference. If you're somewhere colder, a layer of straw or moving the bin closer to the house can protect them through cooler months. This one adjustment alone, keeping temperature steady, is often the missing piece between a worm population that barely survives and one that actually multiplies rapidly. Section 7, the bedding trick most people skip. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about bedding, because this is the part people either skip entirely or get completely wrong. Worms need more than just food scraps sitting in dirt. They need a soft, breathable material to burrow through, lay their cocoons in, and feel protected while doing it. Shredded newspaper, cardboard, dried leaves, even coconut coir work beautifully here. The trick is layering it loosely, almost like fluffing a pillow, rather than packing it down tight. Packed, dense bedding suffocates worms and makes it much harder for them to move freely and reproduce. Loose, airy bedding mimics the natural forest floor worms evolved in, and that familiarity alone encourages faster breeding. So here's the truth. Doubling your worm population isn't about luck, and it's definitely not about spending money on expensive worm farms or fancy equipment. It comes down to 5 simple things. Keep that moisture like a damp sponge. Feed them lightly and let them catch up. Keep them in the dark. Split them once they get crowded. And keep their bedding loose and their environment at a steady, comfortable temperature. Do these 5 things consistently, and you won't just double your worm population, you'll likely see it multiply several times over within just a few months, giving you richer soil, healthier plants, and honestly, a garden that costs you a lot less to maintain. If this video helped you even a little, please consider giving it a thumbs up, dropping a comment letting me know you're trying this out, and subscribing to Evergreen Garden Tips so you never miss another simple, budget-friendly trick like this one. We've got so much more coming your way. Until next time, happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.